South Africa is home to a huge variety of sharks. And one of them has a dark side. At dusk, this docile beast transforms into a deadly predator. Each year, hundreds of ragged-toothed sharks swim 1,500 kilometers in order to mate. For each, this epic journey is a fight for survival. But for one captive ragged tooth, the stakes are even higher. She's about to join this migration for the first time. But she will not be alone in the wild. A team of divers will risk everything to follow her and reveal the dark secrets of this mysterious predator. Welcome to the realm of the ragged-toothed shark. The inshore waters off the coast of South Africa are the hunting grounds to a large, infamous predator. It's secretive and unpredictable, forever searching for its next victim. The ragged-toothed shark may look like a man-eater, but attacks on humans are rare. It's often more of a victim than a killer. This one was a mother. And like so many before her, her journey has now come to a tragic end. The ragged-tooth's largest population is found on the east coast of South Africa. This is their final stronghold on the planet. And for the surviving sharks, an incredible journey is about to begin. It's March on the southern coast of South Africa. The ragged-tooths are currently in the cold south, their temporary home. At this time of year, an Antarctic current chills these inshore waters around the Cape to a mere 8 degrees Celsius. This cold upwelling brings with it a rich food supply and transforms the ragged-tooth into an aggressive predator. Always alert and actively hunting. Despite the ragged-tooth attributing to 10% of shark attacks here, they feed only on fish, squid, and rays. Any attacks are usually the result of provocation. Their senses have been refined over 400 million years. Nothing within a mile radius can escape the attention of this prehistoric and hugely successful predator. The ragged-tooth's long muscular tail is the source of its explosive power. Its needle-sharp teeth and lightning-fast reactions mean its prey doesn't stand a chance. But as the seasons begin to change, the time has once again arrived for the ragged-tooth to begin the journey of a lifetime. The sharks will gather in huge numbers to head north in search of warmer waters in which to mate. A migration that will take them 1,500 kilometers along the coast. They will face many dangers, From treacherous seas and armies of predators to their greatest threat of all, man. Many will be lost along the way, but this is a journey of necessity. A journey to ensure the survival of their species. As the sharks begin their long and perilous voyage north, 500 kilometers further up the coast, a very special ragged tooth prepares to join the migration for the first time. In the heart of Port Elizabeth, one of the country's oldest aquariums is finally closing its doors. This once full and thriving marine park is now just an empty shell. The tanks drained, the exhibit shut down, and the inhabitants relocated. All except for two of the aquarium's oldest residents, a male and female ragged tooth. They are about to be released back into the same waters in which they were found 20 years ago. For shark biologist Dr. Matt Dicken, this is an opportunity to find out more about the ragged tooth migration. The timing of the release is critical, especially for the female shark, Kima, who will be tagged and tracked. For her best chance to survive, she must intercept the advancing sharks and instinctively join their migration. The team plans to use a sedative for both their own safety and that of the sharks during transit. To work effectively, the large sharks require a concentrated dose. But until it takes effect, Kima gets more and more agitated. She's cornered, and the water is being drained away. The sedative eventually begins to take effect, and the team gets to work. When threatened or provoked, this spring-loaded predator can strike with incredible agility. One bite with their long, needle-sharp teeth will shred flesh from bone.
Okay, I've got it. Okay, we want to bring his head round this way, eh?
Like all sharks, once inverted, they enter tonic immobility. This temporarily paralyzes the shark, giving the team a precious window to fit internal tags.
Where's Robin? Robin?
But first they must get through Kima's thick armor. Female sharks have developed thicker skin to survive the violent bites from males during mating. A stronger knife is needed for the cut. This small acoustic device will give Matt information on where she goes. He can follow her, and in the process solve unanswered questions as to the exact course of the ragged tooth migration and where it ends. time is running out. The team needs to move quickly before the sedative wears off.
Yeah, we're gonna use the train.
Any delay at all, and she won't make it into the sea alive. Water must pass her gills. They need to hurry. The shark must be taken to the wharf side. No longer protected in the aquarium, Kima must now fend for herself. Many challenges lie ahead of her. And the team of biologists wonder if they'll ever see her again. Will she know how to hunt? And will she be accepted into the ranks of the Ragged Tooth? Will she give Matt the vital clues he needs to follow the migration to its end? Only time will tell. It has been 2 months since Kima's release, and the Ragged Tooth migration has arrived in her home waters around Port Elizabeth. Just off the coast, Bird Island is the largest gannet tree in the world. This isolated sanctuary is home to over 120,000 Cape gannets. These large predatory seabirds raise their young here and use the island as a refuge after foraging at sea for shoaling fish like sardines. The birds have a lot in common with the Ragged Tooths. They too are preparing to head north in great numbers. In the meantime, this island reserve also acts as a nursery and training ground for their young. Within just 8 weeks, the chicks already outweigh their parents. They'll learn to hunt the same food as the sharks too, and in many cases, they'll feed together. However, the water around the island hides offspring of a different kind. Beneath the surface is a mysterious Ragged Tooth nursery. A shallow reef where the dive team hope Kima has instinctively returned to since her release. But the breeding migration has come and gone. Only the young and old are left behind. These juveniles are the offspring from previous migrations, still too weak and vulnerable to accompany the adults north. The pups will hide here and continue to grow in size and strength. They'll only reach sexual maturity after 10 years. For now, the labyrinths of caves and gullies protect the juveniles from the powerful ocean swell above. Not to mention their own kind. The great white is a cold water predator, and as long as the Ragged Tooth are here, the young are in danger of being eaten. Staying hidden on the sea floor is a good strategy. Even adult Ragged Tooths raid their nurseries when times are tough. As Kima swims, she's tracked by listening stations that are placed strategically along the coast. When a tag shark swims within half a mile of a listening station, their unique signal is recorded and stored. This valuable data tracks the shark's movements, range, and distribution. Matt needs to remove the receiver and download the data to see if she's passed here. If she has, the divers must follow for hundreds of kilometers. But for now, the results prove inconclusive. However, there's a great motivation for the sharks to swim so far. July brings winter to the east coast of southern Africa, and one of nature's great spectacles takes place. The Sardine Run. Some 10 million tiny sardines trapped in a narrow band of cold water surge along the coast. This torrent of fish can stretch up to 9 miles and reach 130 feet deep. En route to their hidden mating grounds, the ragged-toothed shadow the sardines northwards. This opportunity of indulgence does not go to waste. These oil-rich fish will provide them with large amounts of energy for the coming months. But the ragged tooths don't have the sardines all to themselves. They're forced to share. Hot on their heels, thousands of marine predators from miles around converge for the buffet. But some of the competition actually helps the ragged tooth to feed. The dolphins form huge balls of terrified sardines, allowing whales and sharks to gorge themselves on the helpless fish. The gannets from Bird Island have also traveled north to join the massacre. The fledglings that learn to fly in time reap the rewards. Squadrons of birds circle into formation 30 meters above the surface. The gannets join the feast, raining down into the writhing shoals below. They torpedo through the water at over 100 kilometers per hour. This gluttonous assault is relentless. And down below, the ragged tooths are feeding on the fallout. The cold current eventually dissipates, and the remaining sardines vanish back into the depth. The predators disperse, and the gannets begin the long journey home. The sharks continue their progress north and are now over 1,000 kilometers up the coast in the warm waters of KwaZulu-Natal. This tropical stretch of coastline near Durban is home to the world-renowned Aliwal Shoal, an ancient sandstone reef created 80,000 years ago. A rock fortress carved out by the powerful Indian Ocean and home to an incredibly dynamic ecosystem. These reefs will soon bear witness to a mysterious and violent affair. It is here that hundreds of ragged tooth will soon arrive to mate. This is the best place for Matt to look for Kima. But this part of the coast is guarded by huge waves. Matt still needs to get out to the reef to find and retrieve his listening station. He heads to a secluded part of the reef known as the Cathedral. This secret ragged tooth sanctuary is hidden 25 meters below the surface. But it is not just the ragged tooth Matt must look out for. He must swim past a far deadlier threat. The infamous tiger shark. A half-ton predator with highly attuned senses and an indiscriminate appetite. They're the apex predator here, and the other species follow. This is shark territory. Apart from the tigers, the divers must pass big blacktip sharks too. They're always on the hunt, and they're not afraid of humans. This is the realm of pelagic hunters, the open water specialists. Blacktips are much more agile than the ragged tooth, and they hunt far above the reef. The competition here is stronger, so they have to be faster. It's a gauntlet the divers must run to get to the relative safety of the deep. Some early arrivals guard the entrance of the cathedral. This ancient sandstone structure suits the ragged tooth's every need. It provides protection from the prevailing currents, a reliable food supply, and it's one of the only places in Africa where males and females can be found together. The listening station is positioned at the entrance of the cathedral. It will reveal if Kima has made it this far. The ragged tooth's anatomy has evolved over millennia. Its reef habitat defines its physical features. Unlike the tigers and blacktips, which patrol the midwater, the ragged tooth has adapted to hunt closer to the seabed. Being a nocturnal predator, they rest during the day, lurking in caves and overhangs, to conserve their energy for nightfall. Many sharks remain buoyant thanks to the large volume of oil in their enlarged livers, which is lower in density than the water around them. However, the ragged tooth has no built-in buoyancy and will sink if it stops swimming. To combat this irregularity, they have evolved a very unique ability to maintain perfect buoyancy. The ragged tooth venture to the surface to gulp air. They store this air in their stomachs, which allows them to remain suspended in the water column with minimal effort. Sharks, like all other fish, breathe underwater by extracting oxygen as seawater passes through their gills. A process known as ram ventilation. For sharks to survive, they can never stop swimming. But the ragged tooth has once again adapted to its slow-paced lifestyle. It is one of few shark species capable of actively pumping water across its gills, allowing it to float motionless in the water. It is this calm, lifeless behavior that lulls their prey into a false sense of security. Because when darkness falls, the ragged tooth reveals the true predator within. When the data from the cathedral listening station is retrieved, a familiar code appears on the screen.
Right here. This is our shark.
Incredibly, it's the signal from Kima's internal tag. She is alive and on the move 600 kilometers from the site of her release. Kima has successfully completed the first part of her journey. Over the following weeks, she is joined by hundreds of ragged tooths. They begin to crowd the caves and reef pits along Aliwal. The once empty cathedral is now overrun with sharks. Nowhere else in the world do ragged tooth concentrate in such huge numbers. Sexually mature male and female ragged tooth are here with one intention: to mate. Some of the female sharks already bear the scars of mating. A horrific signature of fertility sketched across their flanks. Mating is a vicious and seemingly brutal affair. The male bites down onto the female to wrap himself around her. It is this grip of passion which results in their significant scarring. Kima will face the same brutality, but it's a necessary evil to ensure the survival of her species. However, this violent courtship has never been seen in the wild. It almost certainly happens under the secrecy of night. In an attempt to witness this rare mating behavior, the crew needs to deploy night vision cameras out on the reef. The team must enter the shark-infested waters at dusk. This mission comes with great risks. They will be outnumbered, surrounded, and diving in darkness. This is Predator Hour. The team's limited torchlight means they won't see the sharks coming. But the Ragged Tooth will be watching their every move. Sharks, like cats, possess a mirror-like layer in the back of their eyes, which intensifies any available light. This specially developed vision means it sees in the darkness. As they approach the cathedral, one thing is immediately clear. The mood has changed. The Ragged Tooth is hunting. Their slow daytime meander is now replaced with purpose, speed, and aggression. They reveal a wolf in lamb's clothing. To make matters worse, competitive males become more aggressive during mating season. The sheer number of Ragged Tooth overwhelms the team. A testing bite from one shark could unleash a full-scale attack. Matt places and checks the remote camera. It is time to leave. Now alone, the Ragged Tooth reveals its darker side. A shark's sensory system is attuned to every sight, smell, and vibration. Once a Ragged Tooth picks up a scent, it snakes its head from side to side to determine which direction the odor is coming from. As they close in on the scent trail, their electrical senses take over. Receptive pores located under their snout detect the slightest electrical signal emitted by moving prey. The ragged-tooth stalks in ghost-like silence before unleashing a rapid strike. Their terrifying dagger-like teeth are shed weakly. This ensures a constant supply of fresh, sharp replacements, moving forward like a dental conveyor belt. The ragged-tooth can go through 30,000 teeth in a lifetime. They're designed to pierce and grip the fish, instead of tearing and slicing. So the sharks must maneuver their prey into position before swallowing it whole. Their jaws protrude with such speed that a vacuum is created in their throat. They inhale their food. After satisfying their hunger, the sharks retreat back into the darkness to mate, away from prying eyes. By December, the mating is over. The cathedral lays empty once again, and this rare behavior remains a mystery. But all is not lost. The females are on the move once again, and Matt desperately wants to know where they're going. They swim even further north. They seek the comfort of warm tropical water, because the sharks, including Kima, are now carrying young. The ragged-tooth has one of the lowest reproduction rates of all sharks. Only 2 pups are ever born, and unlike many other species of sharks, the ragged-tooth only reproduces every other year. It is these characteristics, along with their inshore lifestyle, which make this predator so highly susceptible to exploitation. And Kima and the other ragged-tooths are heading directly into the line of fire. As they push further and further north, the females must pass a barrier of shark nets that protect this populated coastline. Some mothers have already fallen victim after a slow and painful death, while others carry with them the mark of man. Fishermen kill around 500 ragged-tooth sharks each year in South Africa alone. The ragged-tooth was once an established and widespread species, but this shark's ferocious appearance has become its nemesis. Man's greed, prejudice, and fear has all but wiped it out. In America, the ragged-tooth population has declined by as much as 90% over the last 30 years. While devastating declines off the coast of Argentina and Brazil has lowered their population status to critically endangered. On Australia's east coast, there are estimated to be less than 300 individuals left. spear fishermen in the 1960s caused this irreparable damage after an all-out massacre on the ragged-tooth population. The hysteria created by the Jaws film of 1975 led to another round of slaughter. Throughout the world, the ragged tooth is under severe threat. Kima's migration in South Africa makes it the final outpost. The remaining sharks are now over 1,500 kilometers up the coast, in the wilds of the tropics. This remote sanctuary in the north of South Africa's east coast is a haven for the pregnant ragged tooth. Matt has mapped Kima's path from her signal, and he's hot on her trail. It leads him to the borders of an uncharted reef. Few humans have dived here. They're among the first to explore this private sanctuary. A familiar shape soon appears in the blue. Kima and the other females have safely made it past the nets and lines. Here, they can begin their 10-month gestation in peace. Some of the sharks are already showing the bulge of pregnancy. The female ragged tooth possesses 2 separate uteri, in which they fertilize their bountiful supply of eggs. It is 12 weeks into Kima's pregnancy, and life is stirring inside her. Hidden within her womb, the first of the embryos has hatched. No longer than a human finger, her offspring are already developing their species' iconic characteristics. Its flexible cartilage skeleton extends all the way to a long, powerful tail. While its premature feathered gills siphon enough available oxygen to survive. The older embryos already exhibit a dorsal fin, which will one day strike fear into the heart of man. Not to mention their own distinctive set of teeth. While their offspring continue to develop, Kima and the other sharks refrain from feeding. These sharks are absolute masters of a low-energy lifestyle. Their slow metabolism enables them to wait long periods between meals, relying on energy stored in their tissues to survive. While algae grows on Kima's unused teeth, her offspring are about to use theirs for the first time. Despite her calm, placid behavior, something far more sinister is about to occur in Kima's womb. Embryonic cannibalism. Her developing pups have now depleted their own yolk sacs and need to feed. Without an umbilical cord, Kima's eldest offspring must find their own source of nutrients. So they turn their sights to their younger, undeveloped brothers and sisters. Despite being blind, the young sharks hunt down and devour their siblings. Even at this early age, life is barbarically simple. Kill or be killed. The massacre continues until the once crowded womb is reduced to only 2 pups, one in each uterus. Over the next few months, the females dedicate all their time and resources to their surviving offspring. Kima will produce as many as 20,000 unfertilized eggs to help sustain her developing young right up until birth. They will need all their strength for the final leg of this extraordinary journey. The time has come for the pregnant ragged tooth to return south, to where it all began. Over 1,500 kilometers back to the cold waters of the Cape to give birth. It has been 18 months since her release. And now Kima is finally going home. The pregnant sharks race back along the coast, covering up to 30 kilometers a day. Far from the shark nets, past the cathedral mating grounds, and beyond the sardine corridor. Back to the cold, shallow nurseries of their birth. The journey is now complete. A new generation of ragged tooth has arrived. Concealed somewhere on the reef, Kima's offspring will be hiding too. Abandoned since birth, the meter-long pups must now fend for themselves. But thanks to their ferocious start in life, they're already equipped with developed senses, a mouthful of teeth, and the taste for blood. As for Kima, she's moved on to replenish her strength. Her success in the wild is a testament to the extraordinary resilience and adaptability of this species. The seasons will soon change, and the ragged tooth will once again repeat their epic journey of survival.